Welcome
to the Color and Life podcast.
or welcome back, whichever matches the experience that you have with us. I am Jennifer.
I'm John Michael, and this is episode 25, part 2.
And guess what?
Because we forgot to say that last time.
We forgot to say that it was 25 part 1 last time. Our intro was a little weird last time. And we also forgot that it was our podiversary.
Oh, yeah. So.
Happy podiversary! Yay!
We don't do those things.
Very much.
No.
But it did happen, and
maybe
it was
maybe you could add like a little
celebratory, whatever.
I don't know, that was a pretty good imitation of that sound. I think that was a pretty good imitation of that sound.
I think you just did. Okay, so we can be found. The places we can be found?
I found as Sandboxer 7 on Ravelry and nowhere else except for colorandlife.com.
Colorandlifepodcast.com.
Colorandlifepodcast.com. Sorry.
So, I'm Jennifer. We did that part
already. Genuine Knits. That's the next
Genuine
part.
Knits.
You're Genuine Knits.
I'm Genuine Knits on Instagram and
All the
most other places. There
Junip on Ravelry.
Junip on Ravelry, exactly. And we do have an Instagram at Color and Life Podcast.
Yeah. Color and Life Podcast has an Instagram. So
cool. And it is at Color and Life Podcast.
You can find the contest rules for the one contest we currently have running.
For the contest, but the make along, we still have the knit along, the Day Color and Life.
Yep.
Double Dog Dare
contest that we currently have running.
We have Easter eggs still.
Oh yeah. Go to the colorandlifepodcast.com for contest rules. And you
can see the cute little dress your bunny thing for just a little bit longer. I'll leave that up.
Will we put those up on the Color and Life podcast?
I will. I will put the winning page. I'll put that up on the
colorandlifepodcast.com.
Yeah, for throughout May. So those will be there through May.
Cool. And then the target date it'll be uploaded is May the 3rd.
Yes.
Oh, now you have to upload it on the 4th.
No.
May the 4th.
No, people can watch it on May the 4th.
Okay, one of these days they have to not release a Star Wars in the middle of December and instead release it in May.
The 4th, on May the 4th.
Because that is just too good an opportunity to pass up. They have to do it.
That kind of is.
Now that Star Wars is being released again, they really have to do that at some point.
That would be very cool.
So.
All right. And
so may the 4th be with you if you're watching this the day after it was uploaded. And if not, well...
you're wishing it for the next day. And if they watched it after, then hopefully the 4th was with you. So, and what do we have for our viewers? We're
actually drinking stuff this time. So I'm drinking apple cider.
And I'm drinking creme brulee coffee.
Fancy pants.
It is very fancy with salted caramel creamer. It's really yummy.
Okay, so all the alongs.
Oh, in my Cindy Lou Who mug.
We moved on.
In my Cindy Lou Who mug.
The moment is gone. Put that away.
All right.
It's not even Christmas anymore.
That's okay. Cindy Lou Who's always relevant.
So we have all the alongs.
We do have all the alongs.
We have a maker of the month, a new maker of the month.
Yes.
That you'll find out about in just a minute. Well, a few. And a conversation.
Yes. And?
Oh yeah, and...
No questions from viewers.
No, just kind of generally no questions in general.
Sad.
So.
No questions. So ask us questions.
On with the show.
How do they ask us questions?
What?
How do they ask us questions?
But I just said on
maybe
with the show.
Maybe they want to know how to ask us questions.
Well, they could ask us in the comments.
They can't. No, they need to go to the Ravelry thread. We have a questions thread.
Right, but if they ask it in the comments, we'll definitely see it.
Yes, because we look at all the comments. And we try to respond in the comments if that is the place to do it.
If it necessitates a response.
Yes.
That's how that word works, right?
I think so. Anyway.
You have
On
to
with the
squish them
show?
one by one rib.
On with the show?
Yes.
On with the show.
It's time for the Color and Life Double Dog Dare Knit Along.
Yes. Do you know what the geeky girls are calling their alongs now?
What?
Owls.
Owls?
Yeah, because
Oh.
they're just kind of make alongs and general alongs and everything, so they're calling them owls.
We need to come up with a better...
Like Quantum Leap,
we need
owl
to-
from Quantum Leap.
We need to come up with a better collective name for alongs.
Alongs?
Yes.
All right, I'll let you work on that. But right now, we're talking about...
It needs to be like a really complicated acronym that spells out a nice word.
All right, work on it.
I will.
Okay, so we are now working... what are we doing? You are working on yours.
Yes, and you're working on yours.
And I'm working on mine. I think I'm going to make mine just because I'm in a real frogging mood.
What?
I'm in a mood to just frog stuff.
What? No,
I
don't
know.
do that.
But then I get to just work on what I want to instead of having the
Well, I mean, that is true. You will have
leftovers.
fewer projects around and more needles available. And
Well, and I have designs that I'm working on too, so it's kind of weird. I've shifted my focus, so a lot of my knitting time is now design time.
you
So
know,
I don't
you know what
have
that's
that
indicative
same
of? I think we
thing.
need. Also, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
This is not the conversation part. This is not when we converse.
No, we're talking about the Double Dog Dare Knit Along and what's going on the
Oh.
alongs, and I'm
Oh,
reducing
okay.
Area 51
Right. Gotcha.
and
Okay.
designing, and that one's done. But I'm still like now in design
I
mode.
was like, I now want to talk about how you're designing. Well, let's do that. Let's talk about how your designing mood has altered your regular knitting mood.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but we will maybe talk about that in a future conversation.
Oh, we should talk about it in this conversation.
Anyway, so we have. What else do we have besides our?
We
And
have
and everybody else can play along by there's directions in the threads and on
the only thing you ever turned to me
www.
like that.
Color and Life Podcast.com. So we have our
Okay, so
Dress Your Bunny.
next up is Dress Your Bunny Cal, and if you will give me a
Mal,
moment to finish
M-A-L.
my what
make along
Yeah,
because some
something like
people
that.
sewed.
they did, which is true.
And we are very excited. It was so hard to choose.
It was very, very difficult to
There
choose.
are so many fun pictures.
So
It
many.
has been so fun.
Don't feel like you didn't do a good job if you didn't make the list, because they were all really adorable.
It was all awesome. It was all awesome. So, the prizes.
Prizes.
We actually had such a hard time choosing that we're giving first and second place as well as we're giving
second and third place
Yeah.
as well as first place prizes.
or runners up, however you want to look at it. But we're giving 2 extra prizes because we just
Yes.
and don't even those were really hard to determine. It was hard to just get it down to
Yes.
the top 3 because they were so wonderful. And the photo shoots that some people did, you guys really should go and look at the Dress Your Bunnies.
Yes.
Because some people had like them going, one of them had it going out through the window, looking like she was going to go outside on her way outside with her little feet. It was just great. The whole photo shoot was awesome.
Okay.
Anyway, and the other photo shoots were fantastic too.
The first place. No, we should start with the second and third.
The second and third place. I don't like calling them places, but the other 2 winners will get their choice of a copy of one of my patterns, and the best dressed bunny
Gets
will receive.
this egg carton.
But show them what it contains.
What? Oh, it contains air. It's just an egg carton.
Show them what it contains.
This egg carton has in it, you guessed it, yarn.
This wonderful selection of minis.
And And this beautiful keychain that is a robin, a nondescript
Swallow.
bird,
Bird
flying into her nest. So
Her little eggs. Anyway, it's really beautiful. And we just thought it would be appropriate for the Best Dressed Bunny to get some more little minis.
yeah, because it was our Easter.
To make some more little outfits.
Yep. So.
And this is from Mothie and the Squid.
Oh,
she
yeah.
did this as a thing. It's mini eggs.
Yep.
And this is 100%
Yarn
BFL.
eggs.
Yeah, yarn eggs.
Left by the Easter Bunny.
BFL
There are
high twist.
several things wrong with that. That involves like 5 different animals.
BFL high twist superwash sock yarn. So.
Because there's a squid, there's a moth, there's a blue-faced Lester. There is also a chicken to have laid the eggs and a bunny. So like all of those things.
The winners are probably dying at this point.
Oh.
So should we tell them who they are?
Yes, we should.
Okay, so third place.
The second runner-up.
Second runner-up.
Is Lucky Jenny Knits.
Yay!
You get to just
message me
Mother
with what pattern you want.
Tell her which pattern you want. The first runner-up is Paige the Framer.
Yay, Paige! Those shoes are to die for.
Yes. And the winner of the Dress Your Bunny make-along.
Yeah,
the best dressed bunny is
Ruth Rabbit.
Oh, come on. I was going to wait at least another 2 seconds.
No, we couldn't wait any longer.
Ruth Rabbit, you win!
Rabbit. You have the best dressed bunny.
You did.
That wavy little thing, and the just before midnight and losing the slipper, and her little necklace, and the sock that you turned into a dress.
It was all wonderful.
All fantastic. You had the best dressed bunny. So, message me your... I know you messaged it to me for me to send you the bunny. But if you would please send it again so that I have it. Because stuff gets buried in my stuff. So, if you would please send it to me again, that would be great. And then I can get your prize out to you. And now, what else do we have?
Oh, let's see.
We gave away the prize for Easter eggs.
Yes, we did. If you want to see who won the Easter egg drawing, we did that last segment.
Yeah.
Last part of this
25
episode.
1.
So that will be in the
right
part 1.
So the winners
check that.
Check that. And now we are on
to the Maker of the Month.
Maker of the Month.
Which we are saying goodbye to Dogstar Knits.
Bye, Dogstar. It was fabulous. That collaboration, the minis, oh, outstanding. And hello.
Ann Tudor.
To Ann Tudor. So, Ann Tudor has marvelous things.
Yes, they're all glass?
Yes,
glass.
She does lamp work. So, I have these little sheepy earrings on.
That she wore especially for the occasion.
I did. And this wonderful glass heart. This pink glass heart. So, I love her stuff.
Yes.
And I have,
we have some other
many selections. She also does stitch markers and progress keepers and all that. And you get to choose how they are. This is this is one of the newest ones.
Ooh, yeah. So this is in her
little
store
clouds,
right now.
Little clouds
Sorry
and
for
a
the
raindrop. There you go. You can see it now.
Yeah, so they're little different color clouds, and they're all sad, and then there's a raindrop.
They've got little faces on them. Some are mad.
Yeah, there's a little mad cloud right there.
Anyway.
They're all very adorable. Oh,
and
then she also has
these
bees.
Oh, the bees were good.
She also has these bees and a little honeycomb.
A little honey pot.
And these are collections of...
That's what it
these
is.
are collections of stitch markers?
Yeah, those are stitch markers.
Yeah. So these are both collections of stitch markers that she makes. They're very pretty.
And this is her club that she's got going that you can sign up for, her monthly club. And she just sends you a surprise thing. And this is like this whole 3D sheep. and then 3 of her colored sheep that was part of the club that I got. Oh, it's just, her stuff is just amazing. Look at that. Look at the detail on
So
that. It's
cute.
just so cool. And she has hippos up now.
She has
No.
hippos?
Yeah.
'Cause-
they're little hippos. There's a front of a hippo, and then she has hippo heinies too. So you can get them in sets. I want one of those.
When a hippo can dance,
Yes.
it's thrilling revelation. When a hippo
And-
can dance, there is nothing to say. When a hippo can dance, it's an overnight sensation. Don't delay, teach a hippo today.
Okay, we're good. All right. Sorry, we had a hippo moment there. So she has sent as giveaway this set of stitch markers, and we will use this in something. And it's 4. Can they see? 4
yeah, I think
whites
they can
and a
kind of
black.
see it.
It's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 whites and a black sheep. And she also sent the melodrama does not see.
Oh my gosh, that is quite beautiful.
Isn't that cool? This heart pendant. I hope you can see it. It's
Yeah, you can see it pretty
black with cool colors at the top.
well. Cool
So-
colors. Said
Well,
the
they are both
woman-
cool colors, and the coloring is cool. So, it's neat.
Actually, they aren't cool colors. They're
I have
halfway in
one.
between. Green is technically a
I
cool
have one
color,
like
but
that too.
But brown is a warm color.
I have one like that too. So, anyway, those are
I
for
think she's
giveaways.
ignoring me.
Totally. So, and that's our Maker of the Month. And she is given a coupon code.
Ooh, coupon code.
Now, she's not on Etsy. She has her own website, which is anntudor.com. And all of this will be up here. anntudor.com. And she is on Instagram as @Ann Tudor LLC.
Okay.
So then you can see the new ones that she puts up, like the hippos
What's the
and
coupon
stuff like
code?
that. The hip... Oh, crap.
You didn't put down the coupon code. Alrighty.
So, and we have
So-
a coupon code.
Yes. Which is
Color
color
15.
15 for
Mhm.
15%
Again,
off.
all of this down here. So, color 15, 15% off. And her stuff is so cool. Just so cool. There's jewelry, there's stitch markers, there's just all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So,
Oh, they're switching back
and that's
to
our
the-
Maker of the Month, right?
Yes, that's our Maker of the Month to this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I showed some of her the flower stitch markers in the last episode.
Did you?
Not the last episode, the last part, 25.25-1. Yeah, they were on my crochet thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, wonderful, wonderful. I want all the things from her. What's the time for now?
It's time for the conversation.
All right, let's converse.
Last time we spoke creatively about creativity.
We did.
Yes.
It was very creative.
This time we're talking about hoarding,
Okay.
which, as you can see,
May possibly be an issue. You called it the library. You named it
yes,
the library, which I really like.
I think we should definitely talk about that term. But this topic, you said, comes from Lily?
Yeah. She talked about it a little bit.
Ladybug Lily.
And she kind of wanted help / ideas, thoughts about hoarding and people who are creative, because a friend of hers was doing a thesis and found a correlation between creative people and hoarding.
I would disagree, but we'll get to that.
So, and there's also just been a general buzz about the podcasting verse about enabling and showing everything you have and things like that. And I mean, a yarn hoarder is, I mean, she's got it in her name.
You have more than
For
a few
crying
people.
out loud.
I mean, more than a few skeins of yarn.
And I have very much more than a few skeins of yarn. And I get more all the time. And we've chosen not to show them on the podcast. We've chosen not to show everything that I get. Even though it can be fun to see new viewers. We've chosen to focus on one maker consistently in a month.
Yes.
And to promote one maker. If people give us things or send us things, we'll certainly share that. But I think part of my acquisitions are... I've thought about this a lot as we were doing this topic.
Yeah.
And my acquisitions are also because my acquisitions changed when Recycled Lamb closed.
Oh.
And based on not having a local yarn store quite so close or quite so varied, and
the amount of yarn you have received is massively increased.
Yes. And I was extremely loyal to Recycled Lamb. Very, very loyal. And I rarely bought from indie dyers or anything like that. But then my world opened to the world of indie dyers too a little bit. And we featured some of them as Makers of the Month. And I really enjoy seeing their work and holding it and doing stuff with their work. Like the 2 things that I just did with Colorful Eclectics yarn.
Yes.
The 2 patterns I just made with that. And more patterns are coming, both from her yarn,
Are you going
that
to make
yarn.
a little duck stuffy out of...
The Make Way for Ducklings. That would be so adorable.
You should make a duck stuffy.
Maybe.
You should learn how to make stuff and then make a duck stuffy.
We'll see. There are such good stuffy designers out there already.
There are, but that doesn't mean you can't be one too.
That doesn't mean I can't be one too.
Or maybe I could make a duck stuffy.
Maybe you could make a duck stuffy.
Okay. Aside from ducks.
So, but also to have it, and when I put it out too, like this, in this setting, in this type of organization, so that as I looked at it, I could say, oh yeah, I want to do this. It is inspiring.
Okay. How does this relate to hoarding?
Well, it's kind of a question of, is it hoarding?
No. That's why I would disagree with the correlation between creative people and hoarders.
Okay, but so what's your definition of hoarding then?
I actually just came up with it. I think that the difference between what a lot of creative people do and hoarding is that hoarding, it doesn't serve a purpose.
Okay.
With you, your stash, serves a purpose.
My library?
Your library serves a purpose. A rather important purpose of inspiring you.
Yes.
I would say that's the difference.
But I don't have time to do everything with it.
So?
It inspires me to do with what I've got.
No.
Okay.
It's okay, so
Explain.
it's like, I'm trying to think of industrial processes.
What?
So okay, it's like osmosis, okay? This is going to be an interesting metaphor. Okay, so osmosis is the natural tendency of concentrations to balance. So what you have is, say you have like a semi-permeable barrier where the something that's dissolved, say salt, okay? So on this side of the semi-permeable, this is going somewhere, okay? On this side of the barrier, you have salt water at a high concentration. There's lots of salt dissolved in the salt water. Let's say it's saturated. And on this side, you have just regular water, and the tops are level, so the pressure is about the same, okay? The water will naturally move this way through the semi-permeable barrier because it wants to decrease the concentration of this side, and this, because this side is pure water, so it wants to decrease the concentration of the solute. It's the same thing with inspiration. You have to have so much inspiration around you that it wants to fill your head with inspiration.
Oh, okay.
See, your head is just particularly full of inspiration already.
Okay, interesting. So,
Chemistry.
that's an interesting metaphor. All right. I'm working with that in my brain.
And now you know about osmosis.
Okay, but what about the I just have to have it and the saving it for good kind of thing? I can't use this skein of yarn. It's too special. It's too important. It's too nice. It's too rare. I might make the wrong thing with it.
Here's a slightly better definition of the difference, I would say. It's so when it's like that, okay, it fills a place in your soul.
When it's like what?
When it's just, I can't use this yarn. It has to just be yarn.
Okay.
And I really just want it to be yarn. It fills a place in your soul. But if you're hoarding yarn, it's more like, I can't give it up. I can't not have it.
Huh.
I mean, would you say you're hoarding yarn?
Well, it depends on the... I'm not quite 100% sure I followed you on that last statement.
Well, I didn't either, so that makes two of us.
So say it again.
It's kind of like... So, like, the classic example of hoarding is you just... It's like impulsive collecting. Hey, stop it.
Okay.
But of things that don't serve a purpose. Oftentimes you can tell that someone's a hoarder because they're impulsively collecting trash. Or what would be trash to anyone but them. And that's because it's not that it serves a purpose, it's just that they have to have it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the difference is why you have it. You have it because it makes you happy on the inside.
Okay. It doesn't make me happy when I have so much I can't organize it, though.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the rest of this room going...
That's because it can't inspire you. It doesn't serve the purpose of inspiring you. See, I think, for you at least, your compulsion to buy is, ooh, this has inspired me. I need to repay that.
Oh, explain that a little bit more.
So you see it as equal trade.
Ah.
You see something, and you get inspired by it, and you say, I have to buy that now because they went through the work of making it, and it inspired me, and so it's only fair that I buy it from them.
Holy cow, I think you're right.
You taught me well.
I do. I'm just checking what you just said about, like, just my experience at Weenet, Colorado.
Yep.
And that's totally what a lot of
Yep.
what it is. And plus, and it's also, I want it here so that I don't have to. Our life has shifted, and I can't just go to the yarn store anymore or just go hang out the same way I used to. That's
So
not
yeah,
part of it.
I mean, that's not the only piece, but
Right.
I would say the other piece is that you grew attached, and I might say addicted to that environment of being surrounded by color and all of that.
And books.
And inspiration in general. And so
True.
now you are attempting to create that environment anew. In the comfort of your home, no less.
That could very well be. Interesting. Okay. Holy cow.
Just call me Freud.
No. That's not a Freud thing. Freud would never mind. We're not going with what Freud would say. We're not trying to do a Freud thing here.
I was going more for
Wow.
famous psychologist.
Okay, so you need to come up with a few others then. Because I see Ann Tudor stuff and I just go, okay, that one, and there's no way I'm ever going to be able to use all the stitch markers I have from her. I have, so what about those? The same thing? You think the same thing? That they've inspired me? And we're just talking about me right now.
Yeah.
And you have your own little. Okay, so wait, do the stitch marker thing first. I want to know your insights on that.
So the stitch markers
and bags and stuff like that.
The stitch markers, I think, are how people will purchase works of art because they like them so much that they want to see them every day.
Oh, okay.
And the really nice thing in this day and age is that art, I don't want to say it's become easier to make, because that belittles artists. But I think in some ways that statement is true. In that it has become more accessible and affordable to create art.
And
not
it's
necessarily
more
not necessarily that the artistic process has become easier. That's the distinction I want to make in that statement. Now,
okay, but like with Brian Kissinger, he has those beautiful dragons that I got, and those could have, in a different age, would have been one of a kinds. And I wouldn't have even have ever known about them probably, because they would have been localized. But through the ability to share everything, I know about them, and he was able to make prints at a reasonable price that I could get some.
Yeah, and the other thing is, well, I won't go into that.
So what about bags? Do bags fall into the art category? Because they're useful too. And I love using them. But stitch markers go into the useful category too.
Bags, I think, are slightly different. And I think that your initial reasons may be slightly different, maybe subtly different than your reasons currently. So, your reasons for buying bags initially are distinct from your reasons that you buy bags now.
Okay.
I think it might be that...
So this is psychoanalyzed mother conversation.
That's what it is.
Okay. Go ahead with the bags.
I think it might be sort of a fall off of your
Fallout, you mean?
No. Fallout is different. Fall
off
off is sort of more of an overflow. As in, it's like your
I just haven't never heard that
need
used.
for yarn. It's used in lighting. The
Okay.
fall off of a light. It's like, anyway. You buy yarn for a reason that I've forgotten, even though I came up with it just a second ago.
To repay inspiration.
Yeah, to repay inspiration. And I'm not sure if you don't buy bags for that same reason. But I think it might be that you buy bags sort of because they fall into the same category as yarn, and your brain can't quite make the distinction.
Oh, it's fabric.
I mean...
I love the fabrics.
Yeah.
I fall in love with the fabrics. And I am not in a place that I could...
And I think it might just be in the art category then.
It's probably a combination. It's probably a weird combination of those. Interesting. All right, so what about in general? What do you think about the concept and idea of hoarding and people having too much and too many and not able to organize it, not even time to organize it because they have so much? That's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I may be dancing the edge of that.
I disagree.
Is it because you don't think I am because I'm willing to get rid of stuff?
Yes. You're willing to evaluate, you're willing to choose to get rid of stuff. You're willing to give stuff away. It doesn't have to be yours. It just has to exist in your life.
But how does it exist in my life if it's not mine?
That is an excellent question. And I think that's why it's so difficult to tell a hoarder from a creative person, from a crafty person.
But crafty people can...
So it's difficult to tell the use that it does just sitting there. That all of this does just sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily economically justifiable, but it does serve a purpose. And that purpose is to inspire you, I think.
Okay. So we've spent quite a bit of time
I could be
discussing
wrong.
whether I'm a hoarder.
Well, you're just the case in point that I have right now.
I see. And maybe some people can relate to that. But what about...
You have a sticker over there that says it's not hoarding if it's a stash. I would agree.
Okay, so explain the difference then. And why you agree with that.
Oh, there is yarn that you don't buy.
Yeah.
Right? There's yarn that you look at and say, no, not that one.
Yeah.
It's rarer, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Someone who was hoarding yarn wouldn't do that.
What about people that can't... Okay, I have, at this point in time, means to do things that other people don't. Let's just put it that way. And even, it can be difficult. That's where it kind of gets into the thing the podcast is talking about, that they see all of these people getting all of these skeins of yarn all the time. And some of them are given to them by makers wanting to be featured or promoted just by being shown off to that many people. That is a thing. And that's part of why we do Maker of the Month too, is to promote them.
Yeah.
But what about the people that see that and say, oh, that means I have to have it, and it doesn't matter if they can afford it, they just buy it.
That's indicative of an entirely separate psychological problem.
So...
Well, okay. I don't want to say problem. I would only classify it as a problem because it is causing you trouble.
Because it
I took a psychology class a few semesters ago, and there was a psychological disorder has to fulfill the 4 Ds. It has to be dysfunctional. It has to cause distress, danger, and there was another one.
Delusion? I did not.
It might have been that. And I think if it fulfills, I want to say if it fulfills 3.
Anyway,
it was 2 or 3 of those.
But nevertheless, the point being that, what was your point?
Oh, my point was that
you didn't want to say it was a problem.
No, I don't want to say it's a problem. I only call it a problem because it is being problematic. Not because it's necessarily wrong.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So in another situation with a different budget or more resources,
it wouldn't be a problem at all.
So it's because it's causing it would need to be addressed simply because their means don't support it.
Yes.
And it can be difficult to watch podcasts and watch all the podcasts and see all the things and see all the people who get all the things and have all the things.
Right. Well, I mean, there
and
are
I want all those things.
There are a few things to remember. First of all, they're not you. And second of all, they...
And you don't mean that flippantly. You mean that really sincerely.
Yes. I mean, they are entirely different people from who you are. And their needs, means, abilities, their entire life is different from yours. And so
And that doesn't... And
that desire, I think, is...
I almost think sometimes people think that something's wrong with them, or they're a bad person, or they're wrong because they can't buy all the things like so-and-so buys.
I mean, that's silly.
Right, but they feel that way.
Right, and that's just putting themselves down.
Because who they are has nothing to do with what they can buy.
Yeah. Who they are is Who they are is more a question of what they do, not what they can do.
I think that's what hoarding...
So...
I think we've kind of come full circle back to a hoarding idea, which is that when somebody hoards, their identity becomes
what they own,
about the things that they can't let go of.
That's I think, I mean, we didn't cover hoarding, but if I had to take a guess, that would actually be one of the core psychological issues at play with a hoarder, is that they attach their identity to what they have.
I think it's almost not what they have, but what they can't let go of.
They can't let go of it because it is themselves. They have made them synonymous.
I see your point. Yeah, so we're talking about the same things, just slightly different ways.
I was giving a reason for yours.
So, that would be the hoarding part. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't think I don't hoard. I have a lot, but I don't hoard. And I guess, if somebody's identity has become what they have or what they have to get, then that could be a problem. But I personally don't see it as a problem to have a lot of things, or to have a lot of,
Yeah,
or to want all of the things, or to want
it's
a lot
not
of
a
yarn.
problem in wanting everything or even having a lot of things. It's a problem in placing one's identity in those things.
Or feeling too much pain or loss or whatever if those things are gone.
That's because they put. That's
Yeah.
because they made too. That's because they made that too much of themselves, I think. And I don't know. For some people, it's okay to let something become that much a part of you. But you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Is all I'll say about that.
It can be a slippery slope.
Nope. Just you have to be careful.
Okay. You have to be conscious, maybe?
Yes.
All right. So, have we reached an end? Did we resolve anything? I feel better about my stuff. And I don't think I'm hoarding anymore. I think I was kind of worried about that
Yeah?
when we were discussing it, and I really don't think I do anymore. I do think there needs to be a little bit more organization. I am a little congested in some parts of my flow. Some parts of my flow need to be opened up.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to do that.
I mean,
and
that
I'm
can
willing
be said
to
for most people.
But I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to get rid of the stuff that I need to make the space work.
Yep.
Or reorganize it. So, do we have questions for our viewers? Do you have any other thoughts?
Well, I mean, we didn't discuss me and my habits.
Oh. How about you
Do you think we should?
and your habits?
Mine are kind of dull and boring.
I don't see you really as a hoarder by any stretch. Well,
Yeah?
no, not a hoarder. But you do save a lot of things. Anyway, I don't know. Do you want to discuss it?
Well. No.
That's cheating. What about your yarn stash?
It is meager and uninteresting.
It's bigger than a lot of people's.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have precisely one shelf. And a basket.
A big basket.
Well, that mostly contains projects and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
my you know what? Stop giving me a hard time.
so you have more than you think.
Well, no, I have precisely one shelf and one basket, and that is all the space that fiber takes up in my life. I was actually just considering
But you
today.
borrow mine, and we had
taking-
a conversation that you kind of don't think you need as big a stash because you sort of feel you have mine available.
Well, that and crafting through yarn isn't as much of me as it is of you.
Okay.
Like, if you were to take away crafting through fiber of me, it wouldn't leave as big of a hole as it would in you.
Okay.
But that's just because other parts of my life are more consuming, like math. Anyway, that's. I mean, I've started a collection of mathematical objects.
Okay.
I now have a Klein bottle.
You want to knit a Klein bottle? Are you thinking maybe that's not possible?
No, it's absolutely possible. I'm just not sure I want to.
I think it would
I'm
be
not
cool.
sure. I'm not sure that it is worth it to me to spend the time. To spend the time
To knit a Klein bottle?
to make the pattern to knit
Oh.
the Klein bottle, because it's one of those things where I would have to think about it for a little bit before
Maybe
I did.
this summer.
Maybe
your brain's just
but
too forward.
even then, I plan on spending this summer working on some other open problems in the mathematical field. So,
What else do we have for our viewers? Questions for our viewers. Do you think you hoard? Do you think it is hoarding?
in light of what we've said, or in light of your own opinions about the subject, do you think?
Do you think I'm a hoarder? Do you think I hoard? Do you think that hoarding is just having more than you could use? There's a phrase, saber? No, sable.
Sable?
Yeah, sable. Has your stash reached sable?
Okay, sable means
Stash beyond life expectancy.
Ah.
Stash acquisition beyond life expectancy or something like that.
Hey, whoever
Anyway.
dies with the most yarn wins.
I'm in the running. Maybe. Probably not, though. There's got to be people that have more yarn than me.
Whoever dies with the most yarn wins.
I got quite a few years left. Anyway.
And your stash doesn't look to be leveling off.
Yeah. What do you think about that kind of thing? Is it hoarding? When does it become hoarding? When is it a problem? Should we just kind of get over it, and if you can afford it and you're not creating a problem in your life, go for it?
I feel like hoarding is one of those terms that's used more than it should be. There are a lot of those.
And more disparagingly,
Yeah.
that it kind of become a...
I mean, generally, when you run across a hoarder, it's pretty unfortunate. But
Well, it's hard because I was in the era and I grew up with the use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without kind of
ooh, that's good. I may have to use that.
mindset. So it's really hard in some ways for me to look at something and go, that's a perfectly good blank. How can I get rid of it? How can I lose it? How can I get rid of it? How can I lose it? How can I get this away? It's perfectly good. How can I throw this away? Give it away? It's perfectly good. And that's why I'm more in the give it away. Why I tend toward more of the give it away category than throw it away category, because if it's perfectly good, I can very often convince myself to give it away, where I wouldn't be able to just throw it away because it's perfectly good.
Gotcha.
Anyway, that's a challenge for me.
Okay. I think we're done.
And we're ready
for now.
Do we have any questions from our viewers?
Let's check. Nope.
We don't. No questions from our viewers. So that segment doesn't happen this week.
So, oh, look at that. It's coming pink through your fingers. She's getting ready to start on her erasers.
All right. This might be a finished object next time.
It probably will. It might be a finished object by the end of this time.
No.
And by that I mean today.
Yeah. Maybe by the end of today.
Probably by the end of today. Okay. I think that's it for this episode of the Color and Life podcast.
I think so.
Thank you for watching.
And until next time.
Have a colorful life.